You have a tremendous followers on LinkedIn. So, tell me about yourself, like in just 10 to 15 seconds, which is most of the part which is not covered on social media, like most of the people doesn't know about you. So, tell me
Okay.
about that. Yeah.
I think people know everything at this point. Like what is supposed to be known, I think that's known.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. I don't think yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Okay. So, I just wanted to ask, like, most of you, like, I have seen many of the interviews on YouTube and on Instagram too, your live session too. You were a
Mhm.
aspiring doctor and then you turn into a freelancer. So, how this journey and how this transition takes place?
So, yeah, I wanted to be a doctor, yes, and that was just something that seemed right to me. It seemed like I wanted to help people, make a difference in society and things like that. But then I think in high school, when I took up science, it just didn't seem right. So I was like not doing well in exams. I didn't even care about failing. I didn't care that I didn't care about anything. And I didn't like that feeling that, okay, I'm doing so bad at something, I don't even care. So why am I doing it at all if it doesn't bother me? And I think the next step was to figure out, okay, what do I want to do instead? If I don't want to do this, that's one thing, but what do I want to do instead? And I think at the time, writing was the only thing that made sense. Because that's something I've been doing for a long time. I was doing that since I was like 8, 9 years old. So I've had a lot of, love for writing, a lot of interest, a lot of safety I felt and comfort I found in writing. So yeah, that seemed like the right choice then.
Okay, like sounds interesting, like your journey, how this transition takes place. Just wanted to ask, like, have you decided before that, like, you want to do a bachelor's in, I think you have done a bachelor's in psychology,
Literature and philosophy.
literature,
Yeah.
philosophy. Okay, so
Yeah.
like, you have decided earlier itself, or after taking science, you have decided that you have to go with this option?
So when I was doing science, my idea was that I would do MBBS, which is, for doctors.
Yeah, yeah.
But then once I decided that this is not what I'm going to do, then my first thing was, okay, literature. And at the time when I was applying for universities, I found that Trinity has this option where you can do two subjects at a time. So you can like do a double major or a major minor. And philosophy seemed like a really good fit with that. So I went with English and philosophy. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, so like how your journey started on LinkedIn? Like I saw one of the interviews said that you met with a CEO of LinkedIn at that
Yeah.
time, and then your journey started. Can you give a brief about that, like how it started?
Yeah, sure. So I met the CEO of LinkedIn again in university in Trinity. And at the time, again, I used to do a lot of writing for myself. So I used to write about my day, about, okay, something exciting happened. So I'll just put it in my notes. And that particular day, again, I went home after the event. I did write something down. But then I thought, why not post it on LinkedIn? And I had never posted on LinkedIn before, but it just made sense, of course, this person is the CEO of LinkedIn. I should post it
Yeah.
on LinkedIn about meeting him. So I posted it, and I remember that the note was like 1,000 words or something, but there's a limit on LinkedIn. So I cut it short. It became a very short post on LinkedIn. And yeah, that post went viral. That was my first ever post. I'm still like, it still feels like, really, did that happen? When did that happen? So yeah, but that was a moment when I got a lot of leads because of that. I got a lot of people who just said, "We love what you're writing. Can you write for us?" Like that was the basic thing, and I just said yes, and that's how I started freelancing. That's how it worked out.
Okay, so there is one common myth about that people generally don't see about good thing about copywriting. They see that you have to copy something and then you have to write it. Is
Mm-hmm.
that true for everyone? Like, is it same? Do you also think that you have to copy something and then do a writing for it?
So when I first heard the term copywriting, I think it was during my internship
Okay.
after high school. So after high school, before I joined college, I for 1 year I was doing internships. At that time, I heard copywriting, and for some reason, like I thought it meant one is the copywriting, like RIGHT, where you
Yeah.
copyright books and content. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But then I saw the word, okay, copywriting, like WRITING, and then I was like, okay, this probably means that you are you copying something from somewhere else and just
Yeah.
writing it down? Is it like a way of practicing? That's what I thought too. So I get why people think that. That's not what it is. Copywriting is basically some a sort of writing is that has the purpose of selling something. So whenever you get like, a buy one get one offer on like a biscuit packet, or a 20% off a special Diwali offer on like a phone or something, whatever that may be, that's all copywriting. That's all, how they are enticing you towards taking action, towards purchasing something, towards thinking about the company or the product or the brand and actually acting towards it. That's copywriting. So it's not the same as, copying
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So, like, I just wanted to ask this. Do you also believe in long-term planning? Like, do you have a plan of next 3 to 5 years? What do you want to do in your life or your professional or personal career?
I do, um, but I have it very vaguely because if I've learned anything in the past 3 years, it's that life is just unpredictable. It'll
Yeah.
go as it wants to. And
Yeah.
also more so in the last year, especially with like the pandemic and how
Yeah.
things fell through. You don't know what will happen. So you can have like a goal in mind that this is by the time, let's say I'm 25, by the time I'm 30, 35, these are the things I want to achieve. But sometimes you can do them sooner, sometimes you won't do some things. So
Yeah.
yeah, just take every day as it comes, I guess.
Yeah, got it. I also agree
Yeah.
with this. And okay, so like, is there any biggest lesson in your life which you have learned from your failure? Any one big lesson which you can share with us?
Okay, so I think one of the most important lessons I learned as the year was closing was that, there's always one period in our time when in our life, or like in a year maybe, where everything is going right. You know,
Yeah.
you've had
Yeah.
a few months where everything is going wrong first. Like you feel like, okay, this is over, it's ending, like I don't know what to do. But
Yeah.
then after 2 or 3 months, there'll be one phase where everything is just working out for you. And I think it's important at that time when everything's working out for you to pause and slow down at a personal level, because in that hurry and in that, enthusiasm for trying to keep everything that you've got, you might end up losing a lot of things. So I've taken some, rash, harsh decisions which have ended up, turning things around for me. So I wish I would have been like, more calmer about it. So yeah, that's the lesson, that if things are going your way, then just make sure you're still pausing and reflecting and thinking about everything you're doing. Like, just don't think it'll work out.
Yeah, like most of the time, what we plan to do in life, it doesn't go as well. Whatever we have plans, it goes in a vain. So we have to shift ourselves according to the situation, what I personally believe. And
Hmm.
so there is just a myth about AI automation in freelancing or copywriting too, because there are lots of sites which do AI writing. You just give
Hmm.
them a kind of small phrase, and then they can write a proper article on that. So do you think that AI automation can take a job for most of the freelancer in copywriting or content writing?
I don't think so. I think what it can do is it can help writers to create better content, to have, faster delivery times, where you, instead of taking 2 weeks, you probably take 1 week to complete a project.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think AI can do the entire job unless you are a writer who is really poor in your writing skills, unless you're not able to add anything beyond AI,
Yeah.
then it can replace you, which is why it is so important that you have that, that uniqueness, you have something that you offer that goes beyond the aspect of content creation. Like something unique. It could be anything. It
Yeah.
could just be your expertise or experience, let's say, with how to create content on Twitter. And AI can do it, but the way you mold it and you use that content is what will make the difference. So, yeah, if you're good at what you do, don't be scared of what AI will do to you. Yeah.
Completely agree. And like in our country, in India, like we have so much of unemployability. Most of the people think that we have a less jobs, we can't do anything, and then this machine automation comes in our place, and then it goes in a vein, whatever we have skills and everything. So, like according to like my previous question, I just wanted that what would be the scope of freelancer in next 5 to 10 years?
I'm like, this is going to be something that's becoming more normal. I think now, when I started freelancing, a lot of people would ask me, what is freelancing? Now they don't ask me that.
Yeah,
More they are more in the lines of how do I start freelancing? So everyone's
yeah,
definitely encouraged to try it out because there's potential.
yeah,
People are, college students, they're doing very well, they're making good money, they're paying their own fees, they're saving up for like the coming years. So there is
yeah.
potential in it. So yeah, I think a lot of people will at least try it out, even if they don't switch to it full time, they will try it out. And if they find it sustainable, if they think that they're willing to put in that work that involves like dealing with 10 different people every month, if they're
Yeah.
willing to do that, then yeah, I think people can do it full time as well. But yeah, I think there's definitely that uh, attraction towards at least giving it a shot and seeing what it's about.
Got it, got it. So, like most of the people nowadays who are very beginner, who want to start in freelancing but doesn't know about it, what would be the best three tip you would give to them?
There's three tips.
Yeah,
Okay. The first would be to make sure that you have a skill that you can offer to people. So just
yeah,
learn something. It's okay if you don't have anything yet. You can still learn something. If you put
yeah,
like, 2 hours of work every single day for the next 3 to 6 months, you can be really good at what you do. And you can do it through free YouTube content, Instagram content, Twitter, Facebook. All of these places do have good free content as well if you don't
yeah,
want to invest in course. So first is prioritize, learning a skill that people would want to pay you for. Second thing would be to start reaching out to people, because if you want to, uh, like freelance, what is freelancing? Like if you want to be a freelancer, you have to get a client first, right? Until
yeah,
then, you are somebody who's doing it like as a, you're trying to get into it. But the day you get a client, yeah, okay, this is it. This is sealed. So the goal is to get a client first, so you can offer free services. That's fine. You can say, okay, I'll offer you XYZ for like 1 month for free, but at the end of the month, just give me a testimonial and give me like um, maybe a public tweet about my services, something like that. So you can
yeah,
talk that through. So the idea is to collect testimonials and then to pitch to more people using that. And the third tip would be to have the right mindset for freelancing, because freelancing is slow. It can be fast as well, but it's usually, for most people, it's a slow process. Your first post is not going to go viral like mine did. After that one viral post, it took me months to get another viral post. So it
sure,
takes time. It's a slow process. It's a bit up and down. So you could make really good like this month, but next month it may be slow. But again, just keep in mind that if you work hard, again, by the fifth month, it'll be really good again. So
yeah,
have that mindset where you are welcoming towards this nature of freelancing. And
yeah.
then, yeah, I think you can do it happily.
Yeah, so like this brings me to our next question. Like you said about the mindset, like so I just wanted to
Mhm.
know like how to build that mindset of freelancers, because we know that freelancing is something which needs a lot of patience. You cannot
Mhm.
have a deal or a first deal in a first month or a first day, so you have to keep working on it. So how to build that mindset?
Look, there's one mindset where you know that, okay, you have to keep going, right? Like you said, like it won't happen overnight. But there's also another mindset where you have to, again, know when to pause and
Yeah,
when to fix things. Because if you've been reaching out to, let's say, 10 people every day, 300 people a month, and even after a month, you've not like heard back from anyone, then that's a problem. That's something that you're missing something somewhere. So you have to have that mindset also to stop and identify that, okay, hold on, something is wrong here. I need to check what's wrong and I need to fix it. Maybe
yeah,
it's the way you're doing outreach, maybe it's ending up in spam, whatever it may
yeah,
be, right?
yeah,
So how do you build that mindset? I think you have to start doing it. That's the
yeah,
first thing, because um, there is so much of a mindset change involved when you are working for yourself, because you have to be disciplined on the next level. You have to
yeah,
get things done. If you don't get things done, there's nobody else on the team who's trying to make it up for you. You're not working in a space where there's hundreds of other people who can probably cover up for you. Somebody might help
yeah,
out. It's not
yeah,
like that, and your business is literally not going to function without you.
yeah,
So when you're freelancing, when you are doing everything yourself, there's a lot of different mindsets that come, and you will learn each of them with
yeah,
experience, with some mistakes and stuff. But yeah,
yeah,
the basic thing is to keep in mind that it's slow. but it's okay. And second, to just know that you need to pause and you need to fix things and have that learning
Yeah.
mindset where you're open to making that change for yourself.
Got it, got it. So, like, this is the like most important question which I wanted to ask, because most of the people have this mindset like I want a success in overnight, and if they try for 1 month or 2 months, they don't get a success, and then they leave this and they said that this is boring, we can't do anything, so you also cannot do. So they kind of
Yeah.
demotivate others too. So, just like, what do you think, like, a success or failure matters to you? Like, can you give a proper definition of success or failure in your words or in your opinion?
Look, success is something that by the end of the day, it makes you feel happy that you did it. Failure is something that by the end of the day, you feel like, I should have done better. I think that's the basic idea of how it makes you feel. It could be anything because, like success for somebody is making like 1,000 rupees and for somebody
Yeah,
else it's making like 1 lakh. So I won't go to the metrics, but it's basically what's making you happy at the end of the day. Of course, we keep pushing the bar as well on a personal
yeah,
level. We might actually be very successful, but we might keep pushing that. No, no, I should have done more. That's a different thing. But
yeah,
that's the basic idea. If it makes you happy, you've done
yeah,
good and you've done something that you are proud of. So, yeah, I mean, both of them are part of life. You will have every single day, you'll have something that you're proud of, something that you're not proud of.
yeah,
But the idea is just that every single day you take action towards making sure that the number of things you're proud of are more than the number of things that you are probably sad
yeah,
about. So yeah, that's all you can do.
yeah. So, like, I wanted to ask this most stupid question. So, how do you balance your professional life and personal life? Because you make a content on Instagram, you tweet about your journeys of freelancing, you also make content on LinkedIn. So, how do you balance all of this?
So I don't see my life as something that's okay, this is professional, this is personal, especially since I'm working for myself. A lot of it is all blended in, right? So I pick up
Yeah,
my phone and if I'm on Instagram, that's work for me. So I don't know where to draw the line between, okay, this is my me time versus this is my work time. Like it doesn't really exist. And it's not
got it.
bad for me. It's okay. Like if I really want to cut off from social media for like one day, you won't find me anywhere. That will happen too. That happens sometimes. Once in a month I do that, like I won't be active anywhere. That's okay.
Okay.
But yeah, otherwise there's no balancing as such. Like I know that every single day I have to post content on these three platforms at least once a day.
Yeah.
I know that I have to get client work done. I know that I have my weekends off from work so I can spend maybe more time on social media. So yeah, that's how I make things work out. And I like all of it, so it's not that hard. Yeah.
That's nice. So, like, most of the people say in freelancing that, or in any field, like, you have to choose a perfect mentor or right mentor to work on yourself, on your career. Do you also believe on this? And do you have your mentor with you? And if you can share your mentor name, and why did you choose that mentor?
My parents are my mentors because they like from day one they have been helping me with this. They know what business means, they know what freelancing is. They are like my dad is good at writing, my mom is really good at the emotional aspect of things. So I get, that sort of don't freak out
Oh,
over XYZ, whatever. So yeah, I get that kind of business and mental and social and all of that support from them. I think, of course, I mean, it's great to have somebody who understands, especially you, more than like a mentor. I think more than understanding your work has to understand you. They have to understand what affects you at a personal
yeah,
level,
yeah,
what makes a difference to you, what your aspirations are, what your goals are, what makes you happy, what upsets you, what your
yeah.
strengths are, but also what your weaknesses are. Like the more a mentor knows you, the better, they can mentor you. So yeah, find someone like that, I would say, who's willing to really get to know you as a person.
That- That's nice. Also, like, it's a very smart answer, I would say. Like, your parents are your mentors. I completely agree with that. Like, everyone has a different mindset on it. Wanted to ask this, whether you prefer a cold emailing or cold messaging on LinkedIn.
I don't prefer either, honestly, because I don't do cold outreach.
Okay,
My like 90% of my business runs on inbound through content
okay,
creation. So I've tried cold emailing. I didn't really enjoy it. It could have worked if I stuck to it longer, but I didn't want to because again, inbound is working well for me at this point. So yeah,
Got it.
that's what I'm sticking to.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Also, you are most popularly known as a LinkedIn girl. I just wanted to ask, how do you create a post on LinkedIn or content on LinkedIn? Like, what's on your mind? What you keep in your priority list? Like, how to create a content on LinkedIn?
hmm so for coming up with ideas, I usually pick something that's like an everyday experience, something that happened that week or earlier, whenever. Like I like to share stories. But recently I've also switched a lot to like sharing, let's say, tips for content creation, for personal branding, all the topics that I'm really good at, right?
Yeah.
And the basic idea is that when you're creating any LinkedIn post, you should have a very strong hook. That's super important. If you have something, the first line should attract the person into reading the full post. That's the first thing. And the second thing would be to have the correct build up because sometimes the first line is really good, but once you start reading, it doesn't really keep up to the expectations you had from the first line. So make sure your build up is really good, that you're keeping up with that expectation that you've set earlier. And of course, have that big bang closing as well because you want to end that expectation like the way it should have. And then
Yeah.
you have your CTA, which is like follow me or DM me for this or comment below. Just get people to take action.
Got it. Got it. So, also brings me to next question. I saw one of your posts on LinkedIn that you also started your own agency. So, like,
Mhm.
how did you build your team? How did you work on your agency? Can you share a brief about it?
So the team building has been a lot of trial and error, just hiring people for various sample work and then seeing, okay, who was good to work with, who had the best work itself, all of those things. So yeah, I usually have like every time I have like this hiring round, which is probably twice a year, not more than that. I probably shortlist like 10 people. So 10 people write paid samples for me. And then out of that,
Okay.
I'll probably pick two or three. So that's
Okay.
usually how it is. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, when I upload this podcast on YouTube, so most of the people will ask me like how we can join Shreya Pattar team. So,
I'm not hiring presently, but if I am, I will put that out on social media. So then you can probably fill up the form then. Yeah.
definitely. So, like, you have decided your career as a freelancer. So, do you also have any plan or in any other field which you want to work on it in future,
Yeah, I
apart
think
from freelancing?
yeah. I mean, this like freelancing or agency work or whatever, this is like one part of things, one side of things, and this is something that I see as a starting point, right? To do anything bigger, I need some base, I need
Yeah.
something to start from. So I think I'm seeing this agency work as a launch pad, and I think yeah, there's a lot more in the coming years, definitely.
That's nice. You make so many contents on Instagram, on LinkedIn also. You must be aware of this negative comments or negative reaction of people. You definitely get negative comments every
Mhm.
time, or in your earlier days. So how do you deal with them?
So I've been told a lot of times to not be reactive. My mentors have told me that, you know who they are. So yeah, that's something that has taken me a lot of time to learn. It's still something that takes me a lot of time to learn to just ignore people. But yeah, I just use the block feature more now. Like if you are commenting something that is
Yeah.
mean and rude and harsh, I'm just hitting the block button. That's it.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Like many of time, like most of the freelancer who work, they face some of the situation like when clients get unhappy from their projects or something. So like, how do you deal with those clients?
Usually it's just, getting on a call and understanding what went wrong and fixing things. Like I think a lot of things can be fixed.
Yeah,
So if there's something you're lacking in, if it's a mistake from your side, you should apologize definitely.
yeah,
If you think that you need more time from the client, maybe, or you need more information from the client, you have to be clear about that. You have to be more, clear, like vocal and outspoken about that. Make all of these things very prominent and put them out there that, okay, this is what's holding us back and this is what we need to do, XYZ work better.
Yeah.
So make that clear. And worst case scenario, if they're still not happy, like you've done the edits, you've made the changes, they're still not happy, you refund the money and you get your peace of mind back. Like just finish it,
Got
close
it.
the chapter. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So, like, also there is something like when you started your freelancing journey, most of the people doesn't know about freelancing, but right now, I think like most of the people know about side hustles and freelancing. So,
Mhm.
do you think that whenever someone wants to start a journey in freelancing field, they have to go for Fiverr or Upworks, this kind of platform?
No, I don't even recommend these platforms mainly because of the high competition and the low bidding prices. And
Yeah.
everything is bid based there, right? Like
Yeah.
whoever has a low price usually gets hired. So I
Yeah.
always like to say that all these marketplaces are great for hiring, but
Yeah.
not for selling. So if I was talking to an agency owner, I would probably say, okay, check out Fiverr. But if I'm talking to freelancers, I will say, don't be on Fiverr. Use LinkedIn, use Instagram, use Twitter, use cold emailing, use Pinterest, use all of these methods instead to find clients because it's not bidding based. It's more value based as long as you can convey that value.
Yeah. Got it, got it. This brings to me a last question of my this podcast is that most of the time people say about this side hustles like freelancing as a side hustle, but many of you like you, most of the people use freelancing as a full-time opportunities in their career.
Mhm.
Do you think that most of the people in future will shift their career in freelancing like from their full-time jobs to freelancing?
Some people could. Um, but the thing is, with freelancing, usually the early years are much more straightforward because
Yeah.
it's the simple steps, right? Getting to like probably 10K USD a month is quite straightforward, I would say.
Yeah.
But there's always levels. So you go from 0 to 5K, it'll take some effort. 5 to
Yeah.
10K, it'll take a little bit more effort. But to go from like 10K to 20K, it takes a
Yeah.
lot more effort than it did from, 5K to 10K. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of um, that growth. If you want that growth and if you're chasing that growth, then it's not easy. So
Mm.
yeah, because then you have to start, like, usually you have to start hiring, you have to create more, you have to sell larger services so that you can charge more. All of those things, it's not easy. So depending on your goals, yeah, you can do it full time, and
Got it.
I think it's lucrative, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, your all of the answers are so smartly you have handled it. Like, I really impressed by this podcast, and thank you so much for accepting my invitation and to be in podcast in just a short notice. Thank you so much, Rhea.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Rhea. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Yeah, you
Bye
too. Thank you.
bye.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Happy New Year to you. Bye.